హలో.
వినపడుతుందా?
ఎస్ సార్. సార్ అది ప్రోగ్రామ్ ఇప్పుడు పంపించాను కదా సార్. అది బేసిక్ చిన్న ప్రోగ్రామే. నేను ఏం చేశానంటే రీడ్ చేశాను సార్. ఒక ఇంటీజరు, ఒక డబుల్, సారీ, ఒక ఇంటీజరు, ఒక డబుల్, ఒక స్ట్రింగ్. మళ్ళీ స్ట్రింగ్, డబుల్, ఇంటీజర్ ని ప్రింట్ చేయాలనుకుంటున్నాను నేను మామూలుగా. కానీ స్ట్రింగ్ ప్రింట్ అవ్వట్లేదు సార్. అది
స్ట్రింగ్ ప్రింట్ అవ్వట్లేదు.
స్ట్రింగ్ ప్రింట్ అవ్వట్లేదు.
స్క్రీన్ కనపడుతుందా?
ఎస్ సార్.
ఓకే. Always read string first before you read any integer or double numerical values.
ఓకే సార్. కానీ ఇలా చేయలేమా సార్? అంటే ఇంట్ డబుల్ స్ట్రింగ్ లాగా తీసుకుని రివర్స్లో అంటే నేను ఒక దగ్గర చేశాను సార్. మామూలుగా నెట్లో చూసి వాళ్ళు టెస్ట్ స్టెప్స్ ఇచ్చారు ఇలా ఇలా అని. అవి రన్ అవ్వట్లేదా ఇలా చేస్తుంటే? నేను మామూలుగా నా నోట్ ప్యాడ్ లో పైన పెట్టి మారుస్తుంటే అవుతుంది. ఐ మీన్ ఇట్లా నేను స్ట్రింగ్ పైన పెడితే అప్పుడు రన్ అవుతుంది ప్రోగ్రామ్. స్ట్రింగ్ ని లాస్ట్ లో పెడుతుంటే అవ్వట్లేదు సార్ అది.
Yeah, strings we have to deal this topic separately. దానికి ఎందుకంటే స్ట్రింగ్స్ ఇన్ జావా ఆర్ నాట్ సేమ్ యాజ్ స్ట్రింగ్స్ ఇన్ సి లాంగ్వేజ్. సి లాంగ్వేజ్ లో ఉన్నట్టు జావాలో స్ట్రింగ్స్ ఉండవు. వాటిని సెపరేట్ గా డీల్ చేయాలి. అదొక సెపరేట్ టాపిక్. ఇవి అయిపోయిన తర్వాత లాస్ట్ లో అవి కూడా చెప్పాలి నీకు.
ఓకే సార్.
సో అప్పుడు డిస్కస్ చేద్దాం ఇవన్నీ. ఇది ఒకటేనా?
నాకు ఇది రాలేదు సార్, మిగిలిన ప్రోగ్రామ్స్ వచ్చాయి. అండ్ ఇంకొకటి ప్రోగ్రామ్ కొంచెం అది కష్టంగా ఉంది.
ఏది?
అది ఎలా ఉందంటే ఒక నెంబర్ ఇవ్వాలి సార్ మనము. సపోజ్ 1 ఇచ్చామనుకోండి, 1+1+2 ప్లస్ 2+2 × 3 యాడ్ అవుతూ వెళ్ళాలి నెంబరు. ఒక A0 ప్లస్ A1 డాట్ ఇంటూ A ప్లస్ A2 డాట్ ఇంటూ ముందర వచ్చిన మనం యాడ్ చేసే నెంబరు. అలా యాడింగ్ సిరీస్ మొత్తం రావాలి.
ఓకే.
అది ట్రై
నీకు
చేస్తున్నా సార్.
ఎక్స్ట్రా క్లాసెస్ మీద వీటి మీద ప్రోగ్రామ్స్ ఏమన్నా కదా?
అవి ప్రోగ్రామ్ చేయలేదు సార్, మామూలుగా కాన్సెప్ట్ చూసుకున్నాము.
So let me introduce packages today. A new concept called packages. Till now, we have been using one or two packages in our program, like util package we have used, lang package we have used in our program. But out of these two packages, we were importing only the util package, and we were not importing the lang package. Why is that? Because lang package is called is default by default imported into every Java program. You need not write an import state. So let me first tell you what a package is, why we should use a package in a Java program. We didn't deal this topic earlier, right?
నో సార్, ఇంట్రడక్షన్ లాగా ఇచ్చారు అంతే.
Packages are used to avoid namespace collision. So what do you mean by namespace collision? In your program, you are saving your programs in a folder called Java Y, and in that we are saving abstract folder again, and again inheritance folder, all these things. Why I have saved these programs separately? Why should I create a separate folder for these programs? Why can't I save all the programs in this single folder, right? Why I did it? Because, for example, you take one program JDemo. So there is a class called JDemo defined here. Then when you compile this program, you will get jdemo.class file, right? So you know that very well. So this is a jdemo.class file. Similarly, if I open this class, say overload demo, so you have a class called overload, and you have a class overload demo. There are two classes defined here, but even though two classes are defined, we save this file as overload demo because this class contains the main method. So when you compile this program, two dot class files will be generated, not one, right? One dot class file for this overload demo dot class will be generated, and another one is overload dot class file, right? So in that way, if in your Java file, in your .java file, the .java file may be single, but it matters how many classes are defined in that class, in that program, or in that .java file. So once you compile that .java file, how many dot class file will be generated means as many as there are classes in that .java file. So in this example program, there are two classes in overload demo.java, right? So one is overload demo, the other one is overload. So how many dot class files will be generated when you compile this overload demo? We'll get two dot class file. One is overload dot class, the other one is overload demo dot class. In that way, at times we may unknowingly in one file, in one Java file, we may create a class with some name, say A, and in some other .java file also we may create another class with the same name A, right? So when you compile these files, what will happen is uh, first program when you compile it, you will get both the files, a dot class file and the main method's name dot java file. For both the classes, you will get dot class files. But when you compile the second program, and if that second program also has a class called A, and when you compile it, the a dot class file may erase the existing previous a dot class file, because their names are same. When you compile, a dot class file will be generated, and automatically the new file will replace the old file. So in the old program, the class A that you defined will be missing. Will have a different class now. Instead of that class, you will have something else now, right? So this is because uh, any software application you create will not allow you to create multiple files in a single folder with same name. Okay. Say now I'm going to create a file. Say for example, there is a program called multilevel.java here. So now if I try to save this as multilevel.java, where is it located? In Java, right? Now I'll try to save this file also in the same folder, Java. I'm going to save it multi-level, right? So what is alert message that I'm getting? Multi-level dot Java already exists. Do you want to replace it? If I click yes now, the old file will be replaced with this new file. If I click no, then uh, it'll allow me to give a different name instead of that same name, so that both the files will exist in this folder, right? So in the same way, your Java software also works in the same way. When you have namespace collision, uh, one or more classes having same name, uh, it'll have a confusion which one to access and for which one to create dot class file. So all that confusion, ambiguity need to be avoided, right? So that confusion or ambiguity, we call it as namespace collision, because we consider the set of all names for the classes that we give in our programs as a namespace, right? So for example, you take in general, what is the namespace of your classroom means all the students' names, right? If there are 60 students in that class, each student will have a name, right? So we can create a set. You know what is a mathematical set, right? So if somebody asks you to represent a set in mathematics which is containing all the list of all the names of students in that particular class, then you'll write each and every student's name, separating them with a comma, right, within this curly braces. So that is a set, right? And all the names must be unique there. In mathematics, what is a set? A set consists unique elements. That means there will not be any repetitions of one or more element there, right? So in that way, all the set of or list of names available in that set is called as a namespace. You can call it as a space, right? In programming terminology, we call it as namespace. Set of all names given for various entities in our program. A set of all names of classes. Set of all names of methods. So when there are more than one method with same name within the same class, it will not be accepted, right? If you use different classes in my inheritance, you're coming across overriding, right? So in the same way, when you try to create multiple classes with same name, their their functionality may be different. They may have different number of instance variables. They may have different number of methods and different methods performing different operations, but the class name is same, right? So this should not happen. This ambiguity or namespace collision should not happen. So to avoid that namespace collision, we use something called packages in Java. So what is a package fundamentally? Package in Java is nothing but a folder or a directory. So when you create these files in different folders or different directories, then you will not come across such namespace collisions, right? Similarly, just before I was telling you, if I try to save this at multilevel.java, will this accept in the same folder? It won't accept me to save it in D drive in Java, right? It will not accept me here to save this here. But if I try to save it somewhere in inheritance here also you have a file multi-level. Yes, so here also it is not accepting. So I'll try to save it here in abstract. So now it is accepting, right? When you have that ambiguity, when you are creating multiple files containing classes with same name, it is better to save them in different folders so that namespace collision will not occur. And in each folder, there will be a file uniquely with its names without any ambiguity, without any collision. So that the problem will be solved. What is that problem is going to be solved? Namespace collision problem is going to be solved, right? So for that, what we are doing? Package is nothing but a folder, right? So we create folders and we compile and generate .class files and save them in those folders. And when you want to use a particular class which is not defined in the current file, say in this multilevel.java file, I don't have a file class called A, but it is available in some other program, in some other single inheritance.java file. There is another class which I want to use it exactly in this multilevel.java file. So what I can do is I can simply import that class into my program, just like I imported java.util package for obtaining the scanner class, right? Just before we were seeing that program in which you have imported scanner class from util package. So in that same way, you can import the package that you create on your own uh, into any program, and then create an object for that class and call the methods in that class, access the instance variables in that method in that class also, right? So for that, what we need to do is the syntax for importing packages. Once a package created, classes defined in it can be imported, just like the predefined packages like java dot like util is imported. So just like how you are importing java.util package into your program, you can import the entire package or the a specific class in that package into your program and create an object for that class or classes and access the members of that class by using that object in your program, right? So what is the difference between this java.util package and the package that we are going to see now? As you know, packages can be user defined and predefined. So what do you mean by user defined packages? If the package is created by the user himself in his program, then they are user defined packages. But if the packages are already created and available for you to be imported, uh, which comes with the Java's API, that is when you install JDK on your computer, automatically these packages will be available to you. So such packages which are coming along with the JDK installed on your computer are said to be predefined packages. Okay, so all these predefined packages they will be having, and you can have a sub package also, just like you have a class, you can have a subclass, all these things. So you have a java.util package, java.io package, java.applet package, java.awt package, java.lang package. So these are some of the core packages. Along with that, java.net package is there, networking package. Java.sql package is there. So these are some of the core packages that are commonly used in most of the Java programs that we write. And why this names java.util means Java is the master folder. In that you have another folder util. So that means this is a master package and this is a sub package. And uh, in that master package, all these sub packages, util, IO, applet, AWT, lang, net, SQL, all these are available. And these packages contain within them classes. Say, for example, scanner class is there in util package. So you refer to that as java.util.scanner, right? So now, how to import these packages into your program is by using a keyword called import keyword. After import keyword, you need to give a space and mention the name of the package. So if it is util package, for example, so then I'll mention import java.util. If I give dot star, what is the meaning of this one is ending with a semicolon. It means that this util package will be completely imported into your Java program. Means how many classes are there? If there are 100 different classes defined in this util package, all those 100 classes will be imported into your program. That means what? When your program is compiled, uh, the runtime, the .class files that you're going to use will contain all those files. The .class file will be generated for all these classes, for all the 100 classes in this util package, along with the classes that you have in your program that are defined by yourself. Say in your program you have defined uh, two classes. Along with that two classes, if the 100 classes are there defined in this util package, all those 100 classes will be also added to your program. So their .class files also will be generated, right? But they may not be visible to you, right? And so what will happen is the runtime module for this Java program will increase in size. So that is the reason why we don't import the complete package into your program. Instead, we'll import only that specific class which we want to use in our program. If you import the complete package, the size of your program will increase. So it will take some more time for compiling and running that program also. So unnecessarily, we should not import the complete package. If you are using extensively all the classes in that package, then at that moment, in that situation, you can use this util.star kind of importing. Otherwise, alternatively, you can write like this: import Java dot whatever class name. If it is util dot say random class is there, there is a class called random. Then you just mention that class name ending with a semicolon. And what will happen with this statement is only that class will be imported into your program, only random class, and its methods will be imported into your program. Right. So this is how packages work, and that is the purpose of packages. Now let us see how to create these packages in our program, and then how to compile them and how to run those programs. So creating packages is very simple. So in whichever package you want to add some classes. So by after creating a package, we'll not simply we will not simply keep them idle, right? So we are going to add some classes to those packages. So first, how to create a package means the syntax is you have to use a keyword called package keyword and followed by package name ending with a semicolon, right? So this is the syntax for creating packages. And this statement must be at the beginning of your program before you define any uh, class in your program. This statement must be written before all the classes, so that under this, how many classes you define, all those classes will be automatically added into this package folder. You need not create a folder and save this file in that folder, but you need to write a statement like this package statement. So this is package is a keyword in Java. So followed by give a space and then give the name for the package, end it with a semicolon. And below this you define how many classes you want, that many classes you can define, and automatically all those classes will become members of this package that you create. And remember, the convention in Java for naming packages is small letters. Irrespective of how many words are there in the package name, all the letters in that word will be in small letters only. Okay, so that is how you distinguish between a class and a package in Java program. So now after creating a package like this and creating classes in that program under that statement, will automatically add those classes into that package. But physically on your computer hard drive, the folder will not be created yet. We have just written a program and we saved it somewhere in a directory in our regular folder where we save all our Java programs. But what we need to do is we need to create a folder so that the .class files that will be generated will be placed into that folder to avoid namespace collision. And to create that folder, you need not do anything. You need not create the program. Once you compile your program, automatically the folder will be created. But the way you compile these package programs will be different, a little bit different. The syntax will be almost same, but additionally we need to use something else in the syntax for compiling the programs, and and running the programs is same. That also will be having a little bit a small addition to that syntax will be done, and then you can run the program. So I'll show you how to do that also now. So let us write a program now. I'll take a new window. So first what I need to do, I need to write a statement, package statement. Say I'm going to create a package called mypack and it with a semicolon. So now I'm going to define a class. Say class hello. So this contains a method, a hello method, which will simply display hello message. So now I'm going to save this program as hello.java. There is no main method defined here. I'll create a folder here, packages. In this folder, I'm going to save this file. Okay. So now, how to compile this program so that the package will be created. So what must be the folder name when I compile this program? A folder with name mypack must be created when I compile this program. And the dot class file that is generated after compiling this hello.java must be put inside that folder automatically. Okay. So how to do this? Where is the file we created in Java? We have a folder called packages. So this is where I saved my hello.java file. So simply if I say compile like this will be compiled, but what will happen is the dot class file will be saved just beside this hello.java file here. But I don't want this dot class file to be generated here. Instead, it must create a folder called whatever package name we have given in our program. With that name, a folder must be created, and in that folder, this dot class file must be saved. Right. So let me delete this file, dot class file, and compile it again. So how to compile is use the javac command as it is. Give a space, u minus d, and followed by dot. So what is the file name there? Hello.java, right? So use hello.java. Right. So now to look at the folder in packages folder, we are our hello file.java file is this one, and a mypack folder is created. And when you open this mypack folder, you'll find the hello.class file. Right. So how did I do this? I use the same javac command. After javac, give a space and give hyphen b. Hyphen, this is not underscore, this is hyphen b. Followed by give a space and give a dot, and then as usual you give the file name dot java. So only additionally what you are doing is this part. You are giving this part additionally. Normally, how do you compile your program? Well, this is the way you compile the program, right? Javac space hello.java. But in between javac and hello.java, you are giving minus d dot. So what is this is? This is going to create. This is a command prompt. This is a command in my Windows, Microsoft Windows DOS prompt. What is that command is? If you give this minus d, this is going to create a directory, and in which directory it is going to, where it is going to create the directory. Directory is nothing but a folder, right? So where it is going to create that folder is when you give this dot symbol, this indicates that in current directory. So what is current directory? In which folder you are currently now in packages folder. So in that existing packages folder, this is going to create when you mention dot here, it is going to create a folder there itself. If you want to create somewhere else in another folder, then you have to go to you have to mention that complete path here, right? But we don't want that to be created. We don't it is not necessary at all in Java to do so, right? We'll use only this dot to create a folder. So that is how you create a hello.java file, right? And then compile it. But when you compile this file, will it have any purpose? It doesn't have the main method, right? When a program does not have a main method, it is of no use, right? It will not be useful for us because it cannot run, it cannot begin running the program. So let me add now a main method here. So I'll make this as static void hello, because the same class, if I create a main method public static void main, a static method can only call other static method. So because main is a static method, so if I want to call any other method within the same class in which the main is defined, the other method also must be a static method. So that's the reason why I'm qualifying that hello method as a static method. So we have discussed this earlier long back. So now how do I call that hello method? Directly I can call the hello method. I don't require an object because both the methods are in the same class. Okay. So let us compile this program once again so that the changes we made will happen. So now we have successfully compiled. And to run the program, what you need to do is use the same command Java. Use Java, but after the Java command, you need to mention the file name, right? When you mention the file name, you mention the folder name mypack dot hello dot java. That the package we created. Okay, we are giving dot Java here. We should not give dot Java, right? Fine. So we were giving dot Java here. We didn't remove this dot Java. When you're running Java program, we should not give dot Java, right? Simply hello you have to give. So my pack dot hello. So this will run the program. Okay, fine. So this is how you create a package and compile it and run it.
Sir, hello, hello.
Yeah, Chapu.
సార్ ఒక్కసారి నేను మళ్ళీ ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేస్తారా సార్ అంటే కొంచెం కన్ఫ్యూజింగ్గా ఉంది.
అంటే కంపైలేషన్ ఈ ప్రాసెస్ లేకపోతే
అంటే క్రియేషన్ ఫస్ట్ మీరు మళ్ళీ ఇది ఉంది కదా సార్, ఒక ప్యాకేజ్ తీసుకున్నారు హెలో ప్యాకేజ్.
యా
ఇది ఇక్కడ వరకు మాత్రము ఒక ప్యాకేజ్ క్రియేట్ చేస్తారు మై ప్యాక్ అని.
ప్యాకేజ్ ప్రోగ్రామ్ ని ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ చేయడం కంపైల్ చేయడం ఇది డిఫరెంట్ ఉంటుంది అంతేనా అదేనా
నాకు అంటే ప్యాకేజ్ ఇలా డిఫైన్ ఎందుకు చేసి అర్థం కావట్లేదు సార్. అంటే
why we have
ప్యాకేజ్
why
మై
we have
ప్యాకేజ్ అని.
see ఇప్పుడు జావా వై అనే ఫోల్డర్ లో కూడా చేసుకోవచ్చు నువ్వు ఈ ప్యాకేజ్ క్రియేషన్ అనేది ఇక్కడే ప్రోగ్రామ్ సేవ్ చేసుకొని యూ కెన్ సేవ్ యువర్ ప్రోగ్రామ్ హియర్ ఇన్ దిస్ జావా వై ఫోల్డర్ బట్ ఆల్ ద ఫైల్స్ విల్ బి అవైలబుల్ ఇన్ a single folder, right? And will it in general it will be difficult for us to identify where our program is available, right? So what I have done earlier is to segregate the programs I created separate folders, inheritance, abstract, so that when I open inheritance folder I'll find all the programs related to inheritance only there, and when I open abstract folder I'll find all the programs related to abstract classes. And before that I have been saving all the files in the java y folder. Why? Because these are all general programs, fundamental programs. So we have saved all these fundamental programs here. That is how I have created different folders. And even if you look at this D drive, D drive, you're finding many folders. This also contains the same Java for programs only. This also contains Java program. Why I created so many files? So this Java Y is related to your classes. This is for somebody else and this is for somebody else. Similarly, I have Python folder which contains all Python programs. and I have a folder called Srujan, which contains programs related to that person, Harita, right? So in that way you have different folders, you're putting segregating them in the, so this is when you take the complete computer uh, of your personal computer, we are putting different files in different folders, so that we'll understand easily. It will be easy for us to search for those files whenever we want them. So I can find all the Java programs in the Java folders. I can find all the Python programs in Python folder. Similarly, any Node.js programs in Node.js folder. Similarly, CP contains programs for C programming. In that way, I created different folders so that I'm segregating them into separate different categories so that I can find them easily in future when I want to access them. So in the same way, just like how your computer on your computer, how you can segregate each of these and save them in different folders for our convenience sake. And so if you don't do this way, and if you put all the files in a single folder in your computer, everything, all your programs in Java, all your programs in C, all your programs in Python, or any Word documents you create, Excel sheets you create, PDF documents you create, so everything, or any audio file or a video file, everything, if you save it in a single directory, everything will be put in a single dump folder, right? So how will you know when you want to search for a particular file? It will be a tedious task for you to go and open that folder and search for where the required file is available, right? So instead of that, what we can do is we can classify them into different categories and put those files in different folders. Say for example, here in even my computer is divided, hard disk is divided into these many partitions: 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Right. So why what I am doing here is, in this data, I'm saving all the I'm creating folders for all the programs. It may be Java programs or Python programs or any other language programs. I'm using this as a partition for saving different types of programs written in different programming languages. And in this software's directory, I am storing all the software dumps, Java software when I downloaded it, or PHP software or Android software. All these things uh, I saved here, so that whenever if I want to install them on my computer, I can install them from here. And similarly, in this F folder, I kept some personal files or movie files or audio files, all these things into this F folder. And in local disk Z, I placed all the data that I extracted from my previous laptop or previous computer, and I put all those files here. Right. So now, if I want to get the any file from my previous computer, then I'll open this local disk G. And if I want to play any video, movie, or anything, I'll go to this folder. And if I want any software, then I'll go to this software's uh, partition. And if I want any programs written in programming languages, then I'll go to this partition, data D. So if you segregate them into this different categories and put them in different uh, folders or partitions, then it will be easy for us to locate them when we want them in future. We need not search them tediously from starting from first partition till the last partition. We need not go and search for them, right? So in the same way is the case even in your Java program. You're saving all your Java programs in this Java Y folder. But among these programs, you may write hundreds of programs, right? So out of these programs, you may want to identify the programs which are related to inheritance. So how will you search for which? How will you know after some, say, down the lane after 1 year or so? You'll not remember, right? Which program is for which purpose. You have given the file name differently, and you don't know what program is there in that in that file, right? Until you open it, you'll not know what is the content in that program, that file, right? So what you can do is you can segregate them and put them in folders like this. So I've done this way. All the inheritance related programs, I put them in Java folder. I created again another subfolder and to place all the inheritance programs. To place all the package programs, I created packages folder. And to place all abstract classes folder programs, I created a abstract folder. Right? I could have done even for these also matrix programs, arrays programs in a separate folder, and command line arguments in a separate folder. I could have done even for that also, but I didn't do that. And classes programs in a separate folder, constructors in a separate folder. So in that way, I could have done even for those also. If I want, I can do it now also. Right? But I didn't do that because all these programs are general programs, and their names automatically indicate for us what is the content available in that. So I didn't do that. But now when we start doing inheritance programs and all, we'll be creating subclasses, superclasses, and all these things. In one program there may be a class called A, and in another program also I may define a program called A, right? So in that way there will be multiple classes with name, same name A. So to avoid that, we can go for packages. So what is the purpose of packages? Now in this folder, in this package folder, you can create as many .java files as you want. But if there are two more files, for example, I'm going to create another file now. I'm going to copy paste this one, in a new window, right? So earlier I stored the file name as hello.java, right? So now I'll save it as a sample.java. So I need to store this file as sample.java. But in this sample.java file, there is a class called other, and even in this another one hello.java file also you have a class called other. Both these files will be located where? So let me save this one also. I'll save it as sample.java. Right. So now there are two .java files here in my folder called packages folder. So currently we are in packages folder. So what is the current directory for us now? Packages. So in this folder you have two different Java files. One of them is hello, the other one is sample. But in this hello.java file you have a class called other. Even in sample.java file also you have a class called other. And when you compile these two programs now, a dot class files will be generated and stored here in this current directory only, right? So here also you have other class file, and here also you'll have other class file. So which other class file you want to access when you compile this sample.java file or compile this hello.java file? There will be a conflict between these two programs, because both the programs have the same class other, right? So to avoid that conflict or collision, what we need to do, we need to create a package so that when I compile this sample.java file, the dot class files for this sample.java file will be put in one folder. Say for example, if I compile this hello.java file, all the dot class files in this file will be generated and stored in my pack folder. And here in sample.java, if I create another package, say my pack 1, right? So now if I compile this program, the hello.java, I'm going to compile now sample.java. But from where I'm compiling from, I'm compiling it from packages folder only. Both the programs I'm compiling it from the same folder, packages, right? So if I compile this now, another folder my pack one is created, right? So my pack one now contains other dot class file, sample dot class file, and my pack now contains hello dot class file as other dot class file. So two other dot class files are created now. One is created in my pack, the other one is created in my pack one. If I don't use this package now, what will happen? both these other dot class files will be created in the same directory in which we are, in this packages directory, right here itself. Beside this hello.java file and sample.java file, other dot class files will be generated. So let me compile it without using this minus d dot. I'll remove this one, compile this program. Now where these dot class files are generated, they are saved in the same directory in which this .java files are available, right? Other dot class file and sample dot class file. Now I'll also compile hello.java file in the same folder without packages. I'll remove this. Compile. So now see, there is one hello dot class file, right? One sample dot class file, but how many other dot class files are created? Only one other dot class file, right? So where is the other dot class file for the other program? The two must be created, right? Two other dot class files must be created because one other class I have in hello.java and another one I have it in sample.java. But when I compile both the programs, I'm getting only one dot class file, other dot class file. So for which one it is created? Is it created for hello.java other file, other class file, or it is created for sample.java other class file? And when you run this program, you will have only one other dot class file. So if this other dot class file belongs to hello.java, then this hello.java program will work fine when you run it. But when you run the sample.java, it will not work because it will take the other dot class file from the hello.java file. And I may create this other dot class file with different functionality in both these programs. In this program, I created a simple message like hello, and here say I'm going to create hello Yashwant. So the functionality is different. That hello message, that hello method will display a hello, simple hello message, but this one will display hello Yashwant. Or I may change the method name also. Instead of hello, I may give it as hi. So I'll call it as hi. Even though I do this, the class name still remains other only. So what is the dot class file that is going to be generated for this class other? It will be other dot class file only, right? So in this sample.java file, you have a class called other, which has a method called hi message, hi message. And coming to this hello.java file also, you have a class called other, but this contains a method called hello, and this will display a message called hello. Right? So both these methods, both the functionalities of this other class is different in both the programs. But only thing is, the name of the class is same. The class name here is other, and the class name there also is other. But it contains hi method, and that contains hello method. Right? So the functionality is different. Only the class name is same. So in this case, if this other dot class file is related to this hello.java file, then the hello, when you run this hello program, this will work fine. But when I run the sample program, this will not work fine because for this we don't have a dot class file, right? But now when I used packages, right? So in hello, in my pack folder, the hello dot class file and other dot class file for hello.java file program will be created in a separate folder. Similarly for sample.java file, both its dot class files will be generated separately. I don't have any collision here, namespace collision here, right? So that is what I'm doing with the packages. So now how to compile this one? Java C minus D space dot space hello.java. So you compile this hello.java file. Similarly, you compile the sample.java file. Okay. So now what is happening? Both these dot class files for hello.java as well as sample.java, they are created in separate folders instead of being created in same folders as the root directory packages. Okay. So now you will not have any ambiguity and both the programs will work fine without any problem. So how you compile is different. If you want this to happen, when you are compiling that program, you have to use this command -d space dot and then give a space, and as usual you mention the name of the file dot java. So this will compile the hello.java file, and all the dot class files that will be generated from this hello.java file will be put in a directory that you created uh, in your program. In your program, with what name you have created this package statement? mypack1 you have created, right? So with that mypack1, a directory will be created, a folder will be created, and the dot class files that are generated from this hello.java file will be put inside this mypack1. Right? Similarly, when you compile sample.java file like this, so in sample.java file, what is the package name you have given? mypack1, right? So the dot class files generated by compiling this sample.java file will be put inside the directory mypack1. So to do that, what we need to do is we need to additionally give these two commands, add these two elements in this command when you are compiling the program. And when you are running the program, so no need to give .java as you do earlier only, and need not give this -d all these things. But you are in which folder? Packages folder. So from here, if you run this program, this will not work. If it has to work, you have to type it as Java space. In this packages folder, what is the folder where our dot class files are created? In this packages folder, my dot class files are created. If it is for sample, it is mypack1. If it is for hello, it is mypack, right? So I need to mention here, if it is hello, I have to mention mypack dot hello. First, the dot class files my for my hello.java file are located in which folder? mypack folder. So you have to mention that mypack.hello. Then the program will be run. Similarly, when you want to run the uh, sample.java, you need to use mypack1.sample. So this will display hello s1, right?
Okay, sir. Hello.
Packages, yeah, this is how packages are used for namespace collision.
ఓకే సార్. సార్ ఇంకొక డౌట్ ఉంది సార్. ప్యాకేజెస్ కాన్సెప్ట్ ఎందుకంటే మెయిన్లీ ఆ డాట్ క్లాస్ ఫైల్స్ని ఓవర్ రైట్ అయిపోకుండా సపరేట్గా క్రియేట్ చేయడానికి అంతే కదా సార్ ప్యాకేజెస్
Yeah,
వర్కింగ్. హలో.
exactly. Yes.
ఓకే సార్. మళ్ళీ సార్ ఇంకొక డౌట్ ఏంటంటే అంటే మామూలు జనరల్ డౌట్, ఇలా మనం వేరే ప్యాకేజ్ ఒక్కొక్క ఫోల్డర్ ప్రతి ఒక్క ప్రోగ్రామ్కి ఒక్కొక్క ఫోల్డర్ క్రియేట్ చేసుకుంటూ వెళ్ళాలి సార్?
అట్లా చేసుకోవాల్సిన అవసరం లేదు. ఎప్పుడు చేసుకోవాలి అని అంటే, నువ్వు చేసుకునే ప్రోగ్రామ్స్ లో ప్రీవియస్ ప్రోగ్రామ్స్ లో కూడా సేమ్ ఇదే నేమ్ క్లాస్ తో ఏమవుతుందంటే, ఈ డాట్ క్లాస్ ఫైల్స్ ప్రీవియస్ ప్రోగ్రామ్ ఎరేజ్ అయిపోయి కొత్త ప్రోగ్రామ్ మాత్రమే ఉంటాయి. సో అప్పుడు మళ్ళీ పాత ప్రోగ్రామ్ ని ఎప్పుడన్నా నువ్వు రన్ చేయడానికి ట్రై చేస్తే అది ఉండదు, నీకు ఆ ప్రోగ్రామ్స్ ఎర్రర్స్ వస్తాయి. సో ఆ ప్రాబ్లమ్ చేయడానికి ఏం చేయాలంటే, అన్ని ప్రోగ్రామ్స్ ని ఒకటే ఫోల్డర్ లో పెట్టుకోకుండా, నీకు తెలియదు కదా, నీకు గుర్తుండదు, ఇంతకుముందు ఆల్రెడీ ఒక ప్రోగ్రామ్ లో ఒక క్లాస్ డిఫైన్ చేసి ఉంటావు, ఆ క్లాస్ ఒక నేమ్ ఇచ్చి ఉంటావు, అదే నేమ్ తర్వాత ఒక 1 month తర్వాత ఇంకో ఫైల్ క్రియేట్ చేసి అందులో క్లాస్ కి అదే నేమ్ ఇస్తావు. అప్పుడు నీకు ప్రాబ్లం, అలా ప్రాబ్లం రాకుండా ఉండడం కోసం అలా చేయాలి. ఇప్పుడు నేను క్రియేట్ చేసిన ఫోల్డర్స్ లో, జావా ఫోల్డర్ లో ఎడిషన్ అనే ప్రోగ్రామ్ ఉంది. దీంట్లో ఉన్న క్లాసెస్ అన్ని యూనిక్ గా ఉన్నాయి వాటి నేమ్స్. ఇక్కడ యాడ్ మ్యాట్రిక్స్ అని ఇంకో ప్రోగ్రామ్ క్రియేట్ చేసాను, దాంట్లో కూడా అన్ని క్లాసెస్ సెపరేట్ డిఫరెంట్ నేమ్స్ ఉన్నాయనుకో, అప్పుడు నాకేం ప్రాబ్లం ఉండదు. ఇప్పుడు ఇది ఎడిషన్ డాట్ జావాలో ఒకటే క్లాస్ ఉంది, ఎడిషన్ అనే క్లాస్ ఉంది, రైట్? అండ్ యాడ్ మ్యాట్రిక్స్ అనే క్లాస్ లో, ప్రోగ్రామ్ లో ఒకటే క్లాస్ ఉంది, యాడ్ మ్యాట్రిక్స్ ఉంది. సో ఈ రెండు ప్రోగ్రామ్స్ లో, యాడ్ మ్యాట్రిక్స్ అండ్ ఎడిషన్, ఈ రెండు డాట్ జావా ఫైల్స్ లో నాకు 2 different క్లాసెస్ ఉన్నాయి. ఆ 2 different క్లాసెస్ కి డిఫరెంట్ నేమ్స్ ఉన్నాయి. కాబట్టి ఈ రెండు ఫైల్స్ ని నేను ఇదే ఫోల్డర్ లో సేవ్ చేసినంత సేపు నాకు ఏం కాదు. ఆమ్స్ట్రాంగ్ ఉంది ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్. దీంట్లో ఏముంది, క్లాస్ ఒకటే క్లాస్ ఉంది, దాని నేమ్ ఆమ్స్ట్రాంగ్ ఉంది. సో ఇది కూడా యూనిక్ గా డిఫరెంట్ ఉంది. రైట్. ఎర్రే ఉంది, ఎర్రేలో క్లాస్ నేమ్ ఎర్రే ఉంది. సో నాకు ఇక్కడ దీంట్లో కూడా ఏం ప్రాబ్లం లేదు. ఎర్రేస్ అని ఉంది, దీంట్లో క్లాస్ నేమ్ ఎర్రేస్ అని ఉంది. సో ఎర్రే ఇస్ డిఫరెంట్ ఫ్రమ్ ఎర్రేస్. సో నో ప్రాబ్లం. యావరేజ్ ఉంది. సో in that way, in all these programs, I have class names differently and uniquely. యూనిక్ గా ఉన్నాయి కాబట్టి నాకు ఏ ప్రాబ్లం రాదు. ఎప్పుడైతే నేను
ఓకే.
ఏదో ప్రోగ్రామ్ క్రియేట్ చేసి అందులో సేమ్ నేమ్ ఇచ్చాను అనుకో, ఇప్పుడు కన్స్ట్రక్టర్ అనే క్లాస్ లో ఒక క్లాస్ నేమ్ ఏ అని ఇచ్చా, రైట్. అండ్ కాన్స్ డెమో అనే క్లాస్ లో కూడా ఇంకో క్లాస్ క్రియేట్ చేసి దాంట్లో కూడా దాని నేమ్, ఆ క్లాస్ నేమ్ కూడా ఏ అని ఇచ్చా. అప్పుడు ఈ రెండు ప్రోగ్రామ్స్ మధ్య కాన్ఫ్లిక్ట్ వస్తుంది. సో అలా రానంతసేపు నో ప్రాబ్లం, నువ్వు సేవ్ చేసుకో, నువ్వు ఒకటే ఫోల్డర్ లో సేవ్ చేసుకో, నీకు కంపైల్ అవుతాయి, రన్ అవుతాయి, ప్రాబ్లం ఏమి ఉండదు. బట్ ఎప్పుడైతే రెండు డిఫరెంట్ ప్రోగ్రామ్స్ లో ఒకటే ఒకటే నేమ్ తో ఒక క్లాస్ డిఫైన్ చేస్తే, రెండు క్లాసులు డిఫైన్ చేస్తే, ఆ రెండు ప్రోగ్రామ్స్ ఒకటే ఫోల్డర్ లో ఉన్నాయనుకో, అప్పుడు నీకు ప్రాబ్లం వస్తుంది. ఆ ప్రాబ్లం రాకుండా ఉండాలనుకుంటే నువ్వు వేరే ఫోల్డర్ క్రియేట్ చేసి ఆ ఫోల్డర్ లో సేవ్ చేసుకో ఫైల్స్. అప్పుడు నీకు ప్రాబ్లం రాకుండా ఉంటుంది. అండ్ వేరే ఫోల్డర్స్ క్రియేట్ చేసుకోవడం వల్ల అడ్వాంటేజెస్ ఏమంటే, నీకు ఏ కాన్సెప్ట్ వైజ్ ఆ కాన్సెప్ట్ ప్రోగ్రామ్స్ సెపరేట్ గా ఉంటాయి కాబట్టి లేటర్ వెన్ యూ వాంట్ టు రిఫర్ టు దిస్ ప్రోగ్రామ్స్ ఈజీగా ఉంటుంది. నీకు ఆ ఫోల్డర్ లోకి వెళ్ళిపోతే డైరెక్ట్ గా ఆ ఫోల్డర్ లో ఆ కాన్సెప్ట్ రిలేటెడ్ ప్రోగ్రామ్స్ మాత్రమే ఉంటాయి. ఆ కాన్సెప్ట్ లో తక్కువ ప్రోగ్రామ్స్ ఉంటాయి. బట్ ఇక్కడ బయట అన్ని కాన్సెప్ట్స్ కి ఒకటే ఫోల్డర్ లో సేవ్ చేసుకుంటే నేను మాన్యువల్ గా ప్రతి ఒక్కటి ఓపెన్ చేసి ఎత్తుక్కోవాలి, ఇది దేనికి సంబంధించిన ప్రోగ్రామ్ అని చూసుకోవాలి. అట్లా నాకు టైం పడుతుంది. సో అలా టైం పట్టకుండా తక్కువ ప్రోగ్రామ్స్ ఒక ఫోల్డర్ లో ఉంటే సర్చింగ్ అనేది ఫాస్ట్ అయిపోతుంది. ఎక్కువ మందిలోంచి ఒకరిని సెర్చ్ చేయాలంటే ఎక్కువ టైం పడుతుంది, తక్కువ మందిలోంచి ఒకరిని సెర్చ్ చేయాలంటే తక్కువ టైం పడుతుంది. సో టు రెడ్యూస్ ద టైమ్ టేకెన్ టు ఐడెంటిఫై ఎ పర్టికులర్ ఫైల్, ఇఫ్ యూ పుట్ ఇన్ ఏ డిఫరెంట్ ఫోల్డర్, దట్ విల్ బి ఎ గుడ్ థింగ్. దానికోసమే. అలా చేయకపోయినా నడుస్తుంది. ఎప్పుడు నడుస్తుంది? అన్ని ఫైల్స్ లో డిఫరెంట్ క్లాస్ నేమ్స్ ఉంటే, ప్రతి క్లాస్ డిఫరెంట్ నేమ్ తో ఉంటే నో ప్రాబ్లం. మనకి ప్రాబ్లం ఎప్పుడు వస్తుందంటే, ఎప్పుడైతే మనం ఫైల్స్ క్రియేట్ చేస్తామో ఆ ఫైల్లో ఆ జావా ఫైల్లో ఒక క్లాస్ కి ఒక నేమ్ ఇచ్చి ఇంకో జావా ఫైల్లో కూడా ఇంకో క్లాస్ కి అదే నేమ్ ఇచ్చినప్పుడు ప్రాబ్లం వస్తుంది. క్లాస్ నేమ్ సేమ్ ఇచ్చినప్పుడు ప్రాబ్లం వస్తుంది. సో క్లాస్ నేమ్ సేమ్ ఇచ్చినప్పుడు ప్రాబ్లం రాకుండా ఉండాలంటే ఈ ప్యాకేజెస్ కాన్సెప్ట్ యూజ్ చేసుకొని సెపరేట్ ఫోల్డర్స్ లో డాట్ క్లాస్ ఫైల్స్ పెట్టుకుంటాం కాబట్టి దేనికి అంబిగ్విటీ రాకుండా, కాన్ఫ్లిక్ట్ రాకుండా ఉంటుంది. సో దట్ ఈస్ ద పర్పస్ ఆఫ్ ప్యాకేజెస్. ఆ అంబిగ్విటీ, ఆ కాన్ఫ్లిక్ట్ ని నేమ్ స్పేస్ కొలిజన్ అంటాం, రైట్. సో ఆ నేమ్ స్పేస్ కొలిజన్ అవాయిడ్ చేయడానికి ఈ ప్యాకేజెస్ ని యూజ్ చేస్తాం జావాలో. అర్థమైందా?
ఎస్ సార్, అర్థమైంది. సార్ ఇంకొక అంటే నాకు అర్థమైంది కానీ చిన్న కన్క్లూజన్ కోసము, సపోజ్ ఒక ప్యాకేజ్ ఉంది సార్, మై ప్యాక్ ఉంది. అది డిఫైన్ చేస్తుందంటే ఆ డాట్ క్లాస్ ఫైల్స్ ఉంటాయి కదా సార్, దాంట్లో ఏమైనా ఎర్రర్ వస్తే ఆ ప్యాకేజ్ ప్రాబ్లమ్ అని చూపిస్తారు, అంతే కదా సార్? అంటే జనరల్ క్వశ్చన్ ఇది.
అర్థం కాలే నాకు. ఆ ప్యాకేజెస్ లో
కాదు సార్, ఒక ప్యాకేజ్ నుంచి ఎర్రర్ వచ్చిందని అంటారు. సపోజ్ మై ప్యాక్ నుంచి ఎర్రర్ ఉంది అంటారు. అంటే ఆ డాట్ క్లాస్ ఫైల్స్ వల్ల ఎర్రర్ వచ్చినట్టే కదా సార్ అది?
ఎగ్జాక్ట్లీ దాంట్లో ఏదైతే మనం డాట్ జావా డాట్ క్లాస్ ఫైల్స్ జనరేట్ చేసి ఆ ఫైల్స్ లో ఎర్రర్.
ఓకే సార్.
సో విల్ సీ టుమారో how to import these program classes into our program and use them in a separate program. ఇంకో ప్రోగ్రామ్ లో ఎట్లా యూజ్ చేసుకోవాలో చూద్దాం. ఓకే.
ఓకే.